What's an unwritten rule about the road that new drivers should know? Try to give other drivers as much information as possible. Always use your turn signals, even in a turn lane. People have no way of knowing if you're actually about to turn or not. Don't cut corners. I've nearly had head-on collisions because people can't just slow down a little and turn into the lane properly. And if you're on the outside of a double turn lane, turn wide so the inner turn lane doesn't have to crash into the median or you to make their turn. Keep your cool. Road rage kills. I was a passenger during a road rage incident and the other car was shooting at the car I was in. Luckily, neither of us were hit. I'm still afraid of being in a car sometimes. Speed up to match the speed before you try and merge onto a highway. Put your blinker on before you start to brake. Nothing drives me nuts like people who come to a full stop on a one-lane road and then put the blinker on while we wait for passing traffic. My mom has built up a really bad habit of only putting her blinker on when she starts to turn. As a result, she's developed this fear of trying to make lane changes under pressure. She always cites people won't let her in or that people blow past her in the lane she's trying to get into. That's because no one knows she is trying to make a turn. When I've ridden with her, I've explained multiple times, turn your blinker on first, then start looking to make the turn. Always leave yourself a way out. My mom taught me this as we lived near a rough neighborhood. Keep enough space between you and the car in front for you to get the fuck out of there. Yes, especially in a sketchy neighborhood. Leave enough room ahead of your car that you can swerve around the car ahead of you and race off if need be. Always know what's around you. Know what cars are behind you or in the lane next to you. That way, if you feel you have to change lanes quickly, you know whether you can or can't. An old boss of mine used to put it this way. On the road, there's 5 people you need to be aware of at all times. The guy in front of you, the guy behind you, the guy directly to your right, the guy directly to your left, and the guy directly to your left, and the guy that comes out of fucking nowhere. This needs to be higher up. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in the car with a relative that uses their phone all the time while driving and almost crushes us into something. Like, if you can't focus on everything and your phone, maybe you shouldn't be looking at the phone. The whole "I do this all the time" excuse is tiring. Just because you do it doesn't mean you do it well. Merging onto a highway interstate should be a very active process. Try to match the speed of traffic and fit into an open slot. Don't slow down to a crawl and wait for a wide berm. I see way too many people do this shit slowing down. Actually, the only thing that tilts me on the road. It's the merging lane, not the wait your turn lane. Get up to speed as quick as possible too. Don't go crawling down the thing and then just barely hit 50 at the end of it. If you do that, you're a moron. It's so much easier if you're already at 65 or more, halfway down the ramp. Green means legal, not safe. Assume everyone is a moron trying to crash into you. This right here, people routinely blast through the light where I take a left out of my neighborhood. Like turning red, then a pause, then my green, and I'm not even on the gas right away. That light has been red for quite some time. Don't be nice. Be predictable. What this means is don't slam on your brakes to let someone else go. Drive predictably. My mom got into a terrible accident because someone was trying to be nice and waving her onto turn when they should have gone, and someone behind them went around and crashed into my mom, who finally just decided to turn because the guy was being too nice. Also, sometimes you have to go around the block. Do not attempt unusual maneuvers to save a couple minutes, reversing on the highway, crossing several lanes to catch a missed turn, etc. Like, you missed the turn, etc. Like, you missed the turn. That's a you problem. Don't make problems for others. This right here, yielding when you have the right of way, just slows everything down. 100. People around where I live like to stop in roundabouts and let cars go in front of them. You're making things worse, bud. If it's your turn, it's your turn. Every time I'd take my son driving, I had to remind him at least once. He'd get to a 4-way stop first moments before another driver. Mind, he comes to a full stop because he hasn't developed any bad habits, but that's not the issue. It's that he waits just a bit too long, which makes the other driver think my son is yielding, and then they both go at the same time. Assume everyone else is an idiot. Like Homer Simpson says, everyone is an idiot, except for me, edit. As someone pointed out, it was SpongeBob mocking Squidward. Homer says stupid, not idiot. This. Don't barrel into an intersection just because you have the green. Expect that some moron might run the red light. Don't trust a turn signal, but also don't trust the absence of a turn signal. Yes, see a right turn signal. Don't just pull out in front of them thinking, oh, they are turning right even though they are still going 40, 5 and 40, 5 and femth. Look for other signs like slowing down and their car pulling a bit to the right. Don't just trust it. Edit. Words edit again. The correct call would be waiting for them to complete the turn as others have pointed out. I always wait, but I've been honked at multiple times for this. For the love of God, turn off your brights when you're behind someone else. If it's just me, but a lot of modern cars have headlights of Satan's anus. It is physically painful in my eyes to drive at night for me now. Pretty sure that's a written rule. If it's your turn to go at a four-way stop, then go. None of this wave the other guy through crap. You're messing up the sequence. I also hate when someone doesn't have a stop sign, but I do, and they think they're being nice by waving me through. Like, no sir, you don't have a stop sign, and I ain't risking an accident cause you wanna be nice. So there are a shit ton of four-way stops around these back roads I often use. The other day I was approaching one and there was a dude already stopped across from me. I guess maybe he was looking at directions on his phone or something. I can only assume. But these roads aren't busy, so it's not uncommon for someone to wave you through the intersection. BC, they're just gonna sit there for a minute to respond to a text or something. BC, usually no one is waiting behind them. These roads are so dead. But he started waving me through to pass before him before I even had a chance to hit my brakes at all yet. So he's just dramatically waving me through over and over and over, and I was gonna go. But like, I still gotta stop first. I'm not just gonna blow the stop sign. So I slow down and stop, and then he throws his hands up in the air and starts screaming and cussing, rolling down his window, flipping me the bird and cussing me out. And then he goes before I do, like he thought I was fucking stupid. I still have to stop at the stop sign before I go, sir. Be predictable. Assume everyone else is unpredictable. Drive defensively. Going into a ditch at an angle so you don't plow head-on into dirt or rocks, or going off the road is generally preferable to a head-on collision at high speed. At all costs, avoid a head-on with a large vehicle, like a dump truck or transport truck. It's almost certainly going to be fatal for you. Anti-lock brakes, large modern vehicles and snow tires and four-wheel drive are safety features to help you. It does not mean you can drive in all weather conditions without driving for the conditions. I have known people who had very expensive SUVs who are also very dead because they drove fast in bad weather. Above all else, don't drive under the influence. You may not just kill yourself, you may end up killing others. Wear a seatbelt. Treat driving as a privilege, not a right. The graveyard is full of people who had right of way. When I had my driving lessons, my instructor drilled it into my head that when you have the right of way, you don't check to see if someone's coming, you just go. Because you have the right of way, and you should just assume everyone else will respect that. He would actually get frustrated if I checked for oncoming traffic. Guy was an absolute idiot in many ways. The car with the most duct tape has the right of way. And U-Haul trucks. Chances are the guy driving a U-Haul truck is driving a vehicle much bigger than he is used to, hasn't had enough sleep, and is having a long day. Leave the house 10 or 15 minutes early. And if you can't, remember it's better to be late than dead. If your wipers are on, your headlights better be on too. A light tap on the horn is a heads up and not an FU, so don't take it personally. I did some anecdotal testing of a theory. If you do a single short honk or a long honk at pedestrians, they look for what they did wrong. If you do 2 quick honks, they start waving in your direction, assuming someone they know is saying, hit. Don't hang out in my blind spot. Either speed up and pass me, or slow down a bit. My favorite are the people who come speeding up from behind and pass only to then slow down, so you need to pass them. My cruise control is set at 70, 5 emph the entire time, low. At my old job, I drove a box truck or a large cargo van. The thing about these vehicles is that they are huge and they take a long time to brake. You have to start braking in advance. Additionally, I have no view out the back. What this means is that if you ride my arse and I start slowing down and you crash directly into the back of my truck, your BMW would probably be totaled and you could be injured, but my truck would be mostly fine. As far as insurance goes, good luck, because it's registered to my company, who will fight tooth and nail to suck you dry of your money. I won't suffer any consequences, and I didn't even see you in the first place, so don't get super close behind trucks. If it's raining, put your goddamn lights on, no matter the time of day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this a written rule? Don't let your tombstone read here, lies the man with the right of way. People don't follow the rules, so be careful. If you find yourself driving in Boston, find a safe place to pull off and call yourself an Uber. Have your car towed out of the city and never try to drive here again. Please trust me, it's not worth it. Assume everyone else is uninsured, on a revoked license, drunk, high, with stolen plates on a stolen car. Always ignore other drivers or bicyclists when they wave you on to pass, or to go through an intersection, or merge, whatever. You cannot trust them to see everything. You have to look if it's safe with your own eyes. Even if someone official waves you on, do a quick check. If I flash my lights towards you, and we're in a well-lit environment, this means your high beams are on, and I'm blinded by the lights of 100 suns your car is targeting me with. Also turn your damn high beams off when driving behind other cars. My car's internal light works fine. I do not need extra interior lighting. Flashing your lights off and on at night can be used as a reminder to someone who has forgotten to turn on their headlights. Flashing your headlights can also be used to warn opposing traffic that they're approaching a police officer looking for speeder. Okay, so that is not completely correct. If someone flashes their lights towards you, check in the following order. Your lights. Are your headlights off when they should be on? Are your high beams on when they should be off? Hazards on the road, including but not limited to police. Fallen objects, police, accident, police, animals, etc. If everything else seems to be oak and people keep flashing their lights at you, something could be wrong with your car. Your hood may be unlashed, door not closed properly, something stuck in door, piece of bodywork loose, flat tire. Find a nearest safe place to stop and give your car a once-over. Daytime driving lights are not night driving lights. Be careful when opening the door after parking. Always look out for cyclists, other cars and buses. Zipper merging is your friend. Don't be a dick. Follow the pattern. There's no shame in being the slower car. I've got pride and a Jeep Wrangler. It handles like the Red October. Just get out of the way and be slow and it's fine. If it was meant to be fast, it would not be brick-shaped. Use your goddamn turn signals before you touch your brakes, not after.